So, welcome to our special show on freestyle, NNI's freestyle. And the topic of this discussion today will be on Dutee Chand, and one of India's best, one finest, and most well known sprinter, particularly in the 100 meters, has been banned for 4 years for doping. Now, that's the big news which has come in today. Of course, she's going in for an appeal. And joining me on this topic from Budapest is Sandeep Mishra, NNI sports editor. And Sandeep has written this book on Dutee Chand called Fiercely Female. So have a look at this. So he knows the topic very, very well. He has been having multiple chats with Dutee Chand for a long time, and then book came out. Of course, Sandeep, I believe this is still an unauthorized book, and she wasn't very happy with what you wrote. Is that true?
Yeah, she's normally, not happy with a lot of things in life. And I think if you really look at the doping and the ban of 4 years, and even if she appeals, I really don't think the appeal will go through. So, but for technicality, I think let's assume that the appeal hasn't gone through. I think, from a different perspective, if you really look at what Dutee is going through right now, I think it's in a way it's tragic also for somebody who's come to this level, has got two silvers in the 100 and the 200 in Jakarta 2018. And I was there watching those races. I think she ran superbly well. I mean, it was sometimes if you go back to YouTube, for a lot of people who might even want to watch it, it was one of those very controlled, very well done races because 100 meters for a lot of people who think that it's just about strength and just hitting out of the blocks, going fast. It's not that. You need to sustain a lot of stuff in that. And I think Ramesh coached her decently well and pretty well to take her to the podium, and two silvers in the 100, 200, I think is a record of sorts. And from there to come down to where she is now, I I think somewhere along the line, I think she lost herself. She lost herself in thinking. Honestly, there's nothing wrong in thinking you are a celebrity. But I think we sometimes tend to kind of cross the line there, and that probably played in different facets of her life. Her character is not suited to throwing herself into celebrity dom, as if you can call it that, trying to be a star away from the track, already on the track, and you're running, and you're supposed to sustain yourself till Paris Olympics. And I think everything is lost now because even if you look at a legacy, what is the kind of legacy that you've left? You've
Sandeep,
left a legacy.
I'll come back to the legacy point a little later because I have a couple of more interesting points on may currently happen to her. And for our viewers, it would be good to know that the 27-year-old 100 meters national record holder has a time of 11.17 seconds. 11.17 seconds in the 100 meters, which was recorded in 2021. And like Sandeep was saying, that she had tremendous potential. Now, my first question to you, Sandeep, is that when a ban like this is imposed, and particularly the samples were taken twice in December last year, so obviously the agency has had enough time, and there is a mechanism, and then they don't quickly come to a decision. What are her chances of getting out of this hole?
No, I think there are absolutely no chances unless something extraordinary happens. I don't know what is that extraordinary. I think we're leaving too much to fate and probably somebody out there who just might decide that, okay, fine, we are convinced by the argument. My point is, if you're not convinced by the argument right now, you can't be convinced on the argument because she's filed in the field. So 4 years is on, and 4 years means it's like a death blow. It's like your career is over. It's done and dusted completely. Nobody comes back from a 4 year ban, especially when things in Europe and things in America are very different. Gatlin had so many bans, yet he came back. He came back for the 2017 World Championships, and I really don't see that happening in her case because there's too much pull and push happening in her life, whether it's professional or personal. And I think the personal, like before you asked me this, she was jumped the queue in terms of her professional life. That came to the forefront, and I think that probably spoiled a lot of stuff.
Well, she's basically saying through her counsel that they had claimed before NADA's anti-doping disciplinary panel that it was a case of unintentional consumption, and that she was at the Pulela Gopichand Academy when the sample was taken with a special permission to train there, and she had and hypoallergenic. She had severe groin pain, so she was given some medication which caused a lot of problems. So all of this, beyond a point, doesn't really cut much ice, would it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the jury out there, which is sitting there looking at her appeal and all, is really going to listen to these points because, as I said, the A and B samples have already been tested. I think they are convinced on at least okay, fine, even if it was unintentional. Now, in a professional sphere of athletics across the world, across world championships, Olympic games, Asian championships, and even the national championships, because everything comes under the purview. What is unintentional? There's nothing called unintentional. Whatever you do out there, you need to check 10 times before you do it because everything is it's like the thread is so slender that you cross the line, it breaks. And I think for an athlete who's gone on to the podium at the Asian Games, has the experience and has the experienced people around her, which includes her coach, Ramesh, I think all of this was unwarranted. Everything should have been checked, double checked, triple checked before you ingest it. If you haven't done that, then you move out of the zone, which is unintentional to intentional. Now, that is for the people who are going to look at the appeal to decide what is the distance between unintentional and intentional. If the distance is intentional and unintentional more, I don't think it's going to change their mind. I don't think so. But this is the broad gap in which she's operating now, which is unintentional to intentional.
So again, for the benefit of our viewers, suffice to say that the game is over for Dutee Chand.
I think so. I think honestly, even before the doping, I think the game was over because she was not focusing on competitions. She was not focusing. And let me tell you, after 2018, she was advised by many people to go abroad. I'm not saying Ramesh is a bad coach. Let's put that, in the right area. Ramesh is a very good coach who's taken her from nowhere to where she is, 11, 17, and all of that. But we sometimes try and graduate to a higher level this thing. And maybe even if Ramesh would have gone with her to Europe and got the competitions that she needed better, not infra, but she needed better minds around her. Basically, tell her that, okay, if you're going to do 11, 17, then 11, 10 is a possibility. 11, 11 is a possibility. 11, 12 is a possibility. But everything around her was more about which events I'm going to, where am I going to stand, what am I going to wear, where are my magazine interviews coming, where are my newspaper interviews coming, which channel am I on? Not for athletics, for all the other reasons. They may not be wrong reasons, but they are the other reasons. And for people who are professional athletes, till you retire, there's nothing called other reasons. There's only one reason you are in this sport is to compete at a very high level. I think she stopped doing that.
Sandeep, when you were researching and writing this book called Fiercely Female on Dutee Chand, you spoke to quite a few of her extended family members, her sister, and other people around her, the support staff. What I want to know from you is that what was your personal take on her personality? Was she very focused? Was she a bit erratic? Was she disturbed? What was it all about?
No, I don't think she's ever been disturbed. A lot of people might probably find her a little irrational when it comes to interviews and all of that. Sometimes she does talk stuff that the person who probably hasn't seen her like from the junior stage onwards probably may misunderstand. But there was nothing like that. She's extremely focused because let's believe one thing that to reach this particular spot, this place in Asia, to win two silvers, to break a national record is not easy, irrespective of who you are, whatever you are. You need not only decent, you need huge talent to be there. And I think she had everything going for her. Of course, all of that happened where she fought a case against the IWF, which is the World Athletics body now, and won the case. I think all of that probably came to a point where she thought that, I'm unbeatable, outside of the track that I can probably rough shot over anything or everybody for that matter. And I think probably there the decision makers in her life probably took her away a little from athletics, and didn't probably give her the right advice. But for me, she was hugely focused. She was very focused on what she wanted, where she wanted to reach, whether how many times she wanted to break the national record. In that way, she was a complete focused athlete.
Okay, Sandeep, thanks for your time, and have a good time at Budapest. And we'll keep coming to you for other coverage. And for the viewers, we leave them with a soundbite which NNR Sports took while interviewing her some time ago. And it's quite a telling soundbite. Listen in what really happened to her before the dope test was done.
नहीं, बी सैंपल देखो, कभी कभी तो मिस्टेक होता है, लेकिन ये मुझे इतना मालूम नहीं है वो लेबोरेटरी के ऊपर। लेकिन मैं तो जो बोतल में दिया था सैंपल, दोनों में मेरा सेम आया है, क्योंकि एक ही यूरिन लिया था और एक ही यूरिन को 2 बोतल में लिए थे। ए बोतल में जो आया है, बी बोतल में भी वही आया है। और मेरे तो अभी जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट सारा सबमिट किया है, मेरा जो गोइन पेन था, वो पेन के लिए जो मेडिसिन लिया था इसमें वही सॉल्ट है कि, तो इसलिए वो को हमारा जो एंटी डोपिंग एजेंसी है इंडिया में, इनको सारा मेरा वकील के माध्यम से मैंने सबमिट किया है किस इंजेक्शन में ये मेडिसिन मैंने यूज किया था। तो अभी चल रहा है हियरिंग, पता नहीं कब फाइनल रिजल्ट आएगा, लेकिन उम्मीद है मेरा अच्छा ही होगा, क्योंकि मैं तो कभी स्पोर्ट्स में परफॉर्मेंस बढ़ाने के लिए कभी ऐसा वाला मेडिसिन यूज नहीं किया है अभी तक मेरे लाइफ में। 20 साल हो गए हमारे स्पोर्ट्स लाइफ में, काफी इंटरनेशनल खेल चुकी हूँ, 7 एशियन चैंपियनशिप, और 2 एशियन गेम, 2 ओलंपिक, 4 वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप, काफी बड़ा बड़ा कॉम्पिटिशन टूर्नामेंट लड़के भी आई हूँ। और सबसे बड़ा बात है कि मेरा खुद का रिकॉर्ड भी 10 बार तोड़ चुकी हूँ, और वर्ल्ड लेवल में गोल्ड मेडल भी हासिल किया है। कभी भी मेरा जो डोपिंग टेस्ट में कभी फेल नहीं हुआ था, कभी ऐसा पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट आया नहीं था। ये पहली बार बिना ट्रेनिंग में, बिना कंपटीशन में, मैं जब घर में थी मेरे सिस्टर की मैरिज में, उसी टाइम में मेरा ये सॉल्ट सैंपल लिया था और उसी टाइम में आया है। तो मैं भी बहुत पहले कंफ्यूज हो गई थी कि मैं तो कंपटीशन नहीं था, कुछ नहीं था, घर में थी, ऐसा सॉल्ट कैसा आ गया। क्योंकि बाद में फिर पता चला, डॉक्टर के जब एडवाइस दिया कि नहीं, तुम्हारा जो पेन था, जो गोइन पेन के लिए तुम जो मेडिसिन लिया था, उसमें वो सॉल्ट आता है। तो चैलेंज किया है, नाडा को चैलेंज किया है। मेरा जो वकील है पार्थ गोस्वामी, वो उन्होंने कैसे हैंडल कर रहा है, इन्होंने जो जो डॉक्यूमेंट मुझे मांगा था तो सारा मैंने सबमिट किया है। क्योंकि पेन के लिए जो मेडिसिन लिया था, डॉक्टर का प्रिस्क्रिप्शन किस डेट में खरीद किया था, कौन सी फार्मेसी स्टोर से लाया था, तो सारा डिटेल्स इनको सबमिट किया मैंने। इनके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है डिसीजन कब देंगे, लेकिन उम्मीद है मेरे लिए, मेरे फेवर में आएगा, क्योंकि मैं काफी मेहनत करके इतना नाम सम्मान कमाया है, लेकिन ऐसा वाला कभी स्टेप लिया ही नहीं मैंने डोपिंग का। लेकिन ये फालतू में बिना गलती करके भी मैं बदनाम हो चुकी हूँ ऑलरेडी दुनिया में। तो उम्मीद है मेरे वकील ने कहने पर, वकील ने बोला था कि जो सारा आपको पॉजिटिव में है, आपका केस जल्दी क्लियर होने वाला है, आप थोड़ा पेशेंस रखो, ट्रेनिंग में ज्यादा ध्यान दो। मैं तो इसी हिसाब से ट्रेनिंग अभी कंटिन्यू कर रहा हूँ। उम्मीद रखा है जितना जल्दी होगा, तो मेरा क्लियर हो गया तो फिर मैं दोबारा ट्रैक पर वापस आ पाऊंगा।